Multipliers, How the Best Leaders Make Everyone Smarter by Liz Wiseman. Picture this. You're in a meeting, and someone walks in. Suddenly, the energy shifts. Ideas start bouncing around the room like popcorn. People lean forward. That crazy thought you were too nervous to share? It doesn't seem so crazy anymore. You leave feeling like you just grew 3 inches taller. Now flip it. Different person, different meeting. But this time, the air gets heavy. Your brilliant idea suddenly feels stupid. Everyone's playing it safe. You leave feeling like you need a nap, and maybe a hug. Here's the wild part. This isn't random. It's not luck. It's a skill. And get this, the biggest leadership move you'll ever make has nothing to do with your strategy deck or your vision statement. It's about which of these two people you decide to become. Liz Wiseman wrote Multipliers after a light bulb moment that changed how we think about leadership. This book has sold over 1 million copies and is dog-eared on the desks of executives at Apple, Google, and Nike. Why? Because it answers a question that keeps leaders up at night. Why do some bosses make their teams dumber while others somehow double everyone's brain power without spending a dime? Wiseman wasn't just theorizing from an ivory tower. She spent years at Oracle Corporation, then studied over 150 leaders worldwide, looking for patterns. What she found wasn't just a business book. It was a decoder ring for human potential. Today we're diving deep. We're going to explore the hidden beliefs that either lift people up or shut them down. You'll discover 5 specific disciplines that separate leaders who multiply intelligence from those who accidentally drain it. And here's the kicker. Even good people with golden hearts can be intelligence vampires without realizing it. This isn't just a summary. Think of it as a field guide to unlocking genius in everyone you meet, starting with the person in the mirror. Let me tell you about Derek Jones. Picture an 18-year-old kid from Detroit in 1994, smart as a whip, joining the Navy. Derek didn't just join, he crushed it. Aced his electronics program. Graduated at the top. Got assigned to a shiny new guided missile destroyer. On that ship he was the golden boy, the one everyone knew would go places. Then Commander Fredericks arrived. Now, Fredericks was brilliant. The guy knew that ship like he built it himself. But here's the thing. He made sure everyone else knew it too. He managed everything and everyone, hovering like a helicopter made of judgment. During intense missile exercises, with 100 things happening at once, Fredericks would literally stand inches from Derek's face, watching, scribbling notes like a disappointed teacher. One mistake? Public humiliation. Something broke in Derek under that pressure, not physically, but mentally. Tasks he used to nail in his sleep became impossible. His hands would shake, his mind would go blank. The star performer started failing, again and again. Eventually, Fredericks pulled Derek's console qualification. Career death sentence. Derek's confidence didn't just take a hit, it got obliterated. 3 months later, Commander Abbott showed up. Abbott was just as confident, just as competent, but his confidence pointed in a different direction. It pointed at his sailors. Before a big missile exercise, Abbott found Derek and said something simple. "Jones, you're my guy for this. I'm counting on you. So are your shipmates." The preparation felt different. Abbott was curious, not critical. Derek felt like they were solving a puzzle together, not like he was being tested for his execution. On exercise day, with Abbott standing calmly behind him, Derek was flawless. Perfect execution. Perfect score. Best performance the fleet had seen in over a year. Abbott's voice crackled over the ship's speakers. "Petty Officer Jones and crew won the battle for us today." Derek's career launched like a rocket after that. Fast promotions. Nominated for the Elite Seaman to Admiral program. Today he's a senior officer in the Navy. Same guy, same ship, same job. But one leader made him feel stupid with fear. The other made him actually smart. This is the beating heart of Wiseman's book. She calls leaders like Fredericks diminishers. They're so wrapped up in their own genius that they suffocate everyone else. the organization becomes smaller than the leader's brain. Leaders like Abbott, those are multipliers. They're genius makers. They don't just flex their own intelligence, they use it as an amplifier for everyone around them. In their orbit, people don't just feel smarter, they actually become smarter. Here's where it gets crazy. Wiseman asked people a simple question. What percentage of your capability did your diminisher boss actually get from you? Answers ranged from 20 to 50%. Half your brain power, at best. Then she asked about multiplier bosses. The numbers jumped to 70 to 100%. Do the math. Multipliers get twice the intelligence, twice the creativity, twice the hustle, without hiring a single extra person. It's like finding a money printing machine in your basement. So what's the secret sauce? Plot twist. It's not about being nice. Multipliers are often tough as nails. They expect greatness. The difference isn't in their personality. It's in what they believe about people, deep down. The diminisher's hidden belief goes like this. People will never figure this out without me. They see intelligence as rare, like gold nuggets, and they think they won the lottery. So they feel obligated to have all the answers, make all the calls, and swoop in to save the day. And here's the twisted part. Their people do become dependent. They stop thinking. They wait to be told. The prophecy fulfills itself. The multiplier believes something radically different. People are smart and will figure it out. They see intelligence everywhere, in all shapes and sizes. Their job isn't having answers. It's asking the right questions, framing the right challenges, and creating the space where genius can breathe. This core difference shows up in 5 distinct ways. First, discipline, how they handle talent. Diminishers are empire builders. They collect talented people like action figures, still in the box, to build their kingdom. They hoard resources and, ironically, underuse the very people they fought to hire. Talent gets boxed in, confidence erodes, and pretty soon the organization gets a reputation as where careers go to die. Multipliers are talent magnets. Word spreads that working for them is the best career move you'll ever make. Think about Mitt Romney in his early Bain days. Meg Whitman, fresh from Harvard, scrambled to get on his team. Why? Everyone knew. You grew around Mitt. He didn't just check resumes. He'd hunt for people's native genius. That thing they do better than anyone, almost effortlessly. Then he'd plug that genius into a huge opportunity, shine a spotlight on their win, and rocket boost their career. A players became A-plus players. Their value skyrocketed. More A players showed up. It's a virtuous circle that spins faster and faster. Second discipline, the environment they create. Diminishers are tyrants. They create tension-filled spaces where judgment hangs in the air like smoke. Maybe it's a loud tyrant, like Jenna Healy, whose team joked about needing a quote, storm warning system when she was in the building. Or maybe it's a quiet tyrant, whose subtle frown makes everyone clam up. Either way, people play it safe. They hide their best ideas because the risk feels too high. Multipliers are liberators. They create spaces that are both comfortable and intense. It's safe to think, to speak up, to mess up, and to do your absolute best work. Take Patrick Kelly, the legendary 8th grade history teacher. His students say his class is brutally tough. He demands excellence and calls out laziness. But he also gives them room to voice wild opinions, ask hard questions, and learn from their mistakes. He gives space, they give effort. Liberators understand that people's best thinking can't be extracted, it has to be given freely. Third discipline, how they set direction. Diminishers are know-it-alls. They think leadership means having all the answers and broadcasting them. They ask questions only to test people or prove they're right. The organization gets capped at what the leader already knows. People waste energy trying to read the boss's mind instead of solving the actual problem. Multipliers are challengers. They don't hand out answers. They define opportunities and ask the big, hairy questions that make people stretch. Matt McCauley at Gymboree didn't just set a sales target. He walked into his organization and dropped a mission-impossible challenge. a goal so insane it seemed like a joke. But he didn't tell them how. He asked each person, "What would be your mission impossible?" That question ignited a fire. By inviting people to explore the impossible, he gave them permission to reinvent the business. Together, they nearly quintupled earnings per share in 4 years. A challenger creates a gap between what you know and what you need to know. That gap pulls you forward, forces you to learn, to grow, to get smarter. Fourth discipline, how they make decisions. Diminishers are decision makers. They decide fast, alone or with a tight inner circle, then announce it. Efficient, right? Wrong. The rest of the organization is left in the dark. They don't understand why, so they spend their energy questioning the decision instead of executing it. It creates friction, what Wiseman calls spin. Multipliers are debate makers. They know a decision is only as strong as the understanding behind it. For big calls, they pull their teams into rigorous, fact-based debates before anything is decided. Lutz Ziob at Microsoft needed to decide whether to pivot his entire education business. Instead of deciding solo, he framed the question, gave his team 2 weeks to gather data, then sparked a fierce debate. He even made people switch sides and argue against their own positions to test every angle. The debate was intense, but when the decision finally came, the team was locked in and ready to sprint because they had co-created the answer. Fifth discipline, how they drive results. Diminishers are micromanagers. They grip every detail, jumping in to fix and rescue. They believe if they don't hover, nothing gets done. Ironically, people start waiting for the rescue, which proves the micromanager right. It's a doom loop. Multipliers are investors. They hand over ownership and invest in people's success. They teach and coach, but accountability always stays with the other person. Jay Choi, a McKinsey partner in Seoul, saw his team stuck late one night. He grabbed the whiteboard marker, helped them reframe their thinking, and once the path was clear, he did something powerful. He handed the marker back to the project leader. That gesture said, "I'm here to support you, but this is your project, you own it." Investors don't do things for people that they can do themselves. They give 51% of the vote, making it crystal clear who's in charge, but they demand 100% of the accountability. It creates an organization of owners, not order takers. Now, it's tempting to see multipliers as heroes and diminishers as villains. But here's Wiseman's most uncomfortable truth. Most diminishing isn't done by tyrants. It's done by good people with great intentions. She calls them accidental diminishers. Ever been the idea guy, spewing so many brilliant thoughts that your team whipsaws back and forth, finishing nothing? Or the rescuer who hates watching people struggle so you jump in to help, accidentally robbing them of the chance to learn and build confidence? Wiseman says this is the most common accidental diminishing move. What about the pace setter who leads by example, running so fast that everyone else gives up and becomes a spectator? Or the optimist, whose relentless positivity unintentionally dismisses how hard the work really is, making failure feel forbidden? The antidote is self-awareness. Becoming a multiplier doesn't require a personality transplant. Often, it starts with doing less talking, less rescuing, less answering, and doing more asking, more challenging, more trusting. But what if you're not the boss? What if you're stuck under a diminisher? It's easy to feel trapped. The instinct is to fight, avoid, or just comply and hide. But Wiseman found these are the least effective moves. Fighting a diminisher only makes them diminish harder. It's a death spiral. The most effective strategy is counterintuitive. Multiply up. Be a multiplier to your boss. This doesn't mean flattery. It means understanding what they need and leading your leader. Instead of resenting their micromanagement, proactively give them the info they crave so they can relax. Tap into their specific genius at just the right moment. Listen to learn, not just to comply. When you bring out the best in your boss, you create breathing room for your own best work. The journey from diminisher to multiplier is real. Bill Campbell, the The legendary Silicon Valley coach to Steve Jobs, Larry Page, and Jeff Bezos, admitted he started his career as a complete diminisher. "I drove everyone nuts," he said. But brave colleagues gave him feedback. He saw the damage and transformed himself. He didn't just become a multiplier. He became a multiplier of multipliers, teaching other leaders how to unlock genius in their organizations. His story shows us this isn't a fixed trait. It's a choice we make in every single interaction. Are we going to be the genius in the room? Or are we going to be the genius maker? When you zoom out and look at what Multipliers is really saying, it's both incredibly simple and deeply challenging. For generations, we've celebrated the lone genius, the visionary at the top with all the answers. We've been taught that leadership is about being the smartest person in the room. Liz Wiseman flips that entire script. She's saying the most powerful leaders aren't the ones who know the most. They're the ones who unlock the most intelligence in others. The part that hits hardest for me, and for so many readers, is the accidental diminisher concept. It's a gut punch of self-recognition. It's easy to point fingers at the obvious tyrants we've known. It's much harder, and way more valuable, to look in the mirror and ask, how am I, with the best intentions, holding people back? Am I the rescuer who loves being needed? Am I the pacesetter who thinks my work ethic alone should inspire everyone? This reframe transforms the book from a simple finger-pointing exercise into a tool for real personal growth. It gives us permission to be imperfect and a roadmap to improve. The world we're living in right now is facing problems of insane complexity: climate, technology, social issues. No single genius, no matter how brilliant, can crack them alone. We need every ounce of collective intelligence we can access. And that's why this idea matters more than ever. We are, as the book says, overworked but underutilized. There's so much intelligence sitting dormant in our schools, our communities, our families, just waiting to be tapped. The promise of Multipliers is that we can change that. And you don't need a title to start. You can practice this right now, today, in your own life. Here are 3 simple experiments you can try. First, in your next group project or even at dinner, try asking more than telling. Instead of jumping in with your take, ask a genuine question. Something like, what's another angle we haven't considered? Or, what matters most to you about this? Create a little vacuum and watch who fills it. You'll be shocked at the intelligence that shows up when you make space. Second, practice giving the pen back. Next time a friend asks for help with homework or a problem, resist the urge to just give them the answer. Walk them through your thinking. Guide them. Then literally hand the pen back and say, "You've got this. How do you want to finish?" You're not just helping them get it right. You're helping them become someone who can figure it out solo. Third, name the genius. Pay attention to the people around you. What is your friend, your sibling, your parent naturally brilliant at? Is your friend an incredible listener? Is your brother weirdly calm under pressure? Find a moment this week to tell them, you know what you're really great at? You're amazing at. It costs you nothing, but that simple recognition can unlock a level of confidence they didn't even know they had. That was a summary of Multipliers by Liz Wiseman. We've covered the main ideas, but a summary is like looking at pictures of a vacation. It can show you the highlights, but it can never replace the feeling of actually being there. The real power of this book is in the details, the specific stories, the subtle examples, and the quiet moments of reflection it triggers. This summary is just the door. If any of this sparked something in you, I encourage you to walk through it, grab a copy of the book, because reading it isn't just about learning a leadership framework. It's about discovering a more fulfilling way to connect with every person in your life. Links in the description. Also, if this journey was valuable to you, please hit the like button and subscribe. It tells us we're heading in the right direction, and it makes sure you catch our next deep dive into another game-changing book from the Billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep learning and growing together.